Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel, and look at this guitar right here. It looks pretty classic, right? It's a semi-hollow body, maybe you could even say a small-bodied jazz guitar. You could maybe even call it old-fashioned, right? Well, that's what I thought when I first saw it. But then I played it and I'm pretty amazed at how fast this guitar is. Check this out here. Okay, so this is the AIO KSA90. It's the latest guitar I'm checking out from All-in-One Guitars. And I want to show you guys this guitar, but the other thing I want to talk about as sort of the theme of this video is what exactly makes a guitar fast. Obviously, a guitar player can play slow or fast on the same guitar. So it's the choice of the guitarist, and then it's kind of what the guitar allows the guitarist to do. There are certain aspects of a guitar which will enable you to play faster, all else being equal. And some of these things are not going to be super obvious when you're just looking at the guitar in pictures. First, let's talk about the neck here. This has 22 medium jumbo frets on an ebony fretboard. It's a 24 3/4 inch scale length, so what some people consider to be the Gibson scale length. And then it's a slim D profile neck, and it's fairly thin overall. I measured this one, and it's down around 21 millimeters down here at the first fret. And that's a big part of it right there, the thinness of the neck. And bear with me on this, because I want to explain why a thinner neck actually allows you to play faster. So what it really is that a thinner neck allows your fingers to be in a more closed position. So your hand and your fingers in general are in a more closed position before you even press down the strings onto the frets. So just kind of, you can hold up your fretting hand and just do this with me. So have your hand real open like this, okay? Try to move your fingers real fast. Now have your hand more closed, not a fist, but closed about like this. Now move your fingers. Okay, it takes much less effort and there's less tension in your hand when your fingers are in sort of a semi-closed position, and having a thinner neck gets your fingers closer to that sort of natural neutral position that your fingers move the most easily in. A thicker, wider neck makes your fingers stretched out more, and it's actually more difficult, takes more effort, and the fingers move more slowly when they're stretched out like that. Now, the action on the neck is another really important aspect of speed on the guitar. Now, AIO, All-in-One Guitars, they are famous for doing really, really nice setups on their guitars, and along with that, you get a really nice action. In fact, you can even request the height, the string height, what kind of action you want. You can request that when you buy a guitar from them, which is really cool. Not a lot of companies do that. But anyway, this guitar has great action. And of course, there's the relief on the neck, right? The bow, and then you've got your saddles down here, and the nut up here, which is often kind of an overlooked part of adjusting the action. So you have the nut slots ground down to the perfect level, so you don't have a real big gap between the strings and the first fret right here, because you can get the action pretty low on this part of the fretboard by just slamming, just bringing the saddles way down and getting the relief set nicely. But if your nut is real high here, then the action will actually, in some cases, it can actually get higher as you go closer to the headstock, which is really weird. And then again, when the action is higher, the string has to travel further just to touch the fret. And it's traveling further, which takes more time. It always comes down to time and distance when we're looking for speed. And granted, we're talking about very, very small measurements of time and distance, but when you're trying to play 20 or 30 notes per second, those tiny, tiny amounts of time and distance can make a really big difference in how fast you are able to play. Okay, so I want you to hear some more sound samples with this guitar, and I'll do some playing that's not quite as fast. And then I want to talk about another aspect of guitars which can change how fast you can play on the guitar. But of course, guys, real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, checking out cool new affordable guitars, and staying up on all the latest news in the guitar universe, and you have not already subscribed for some bizarre reason, please consider subscribing right now. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this in, and I'm doing something a little bit different today. For this demo, I'm using my Rev G20 20-watt tube head. I'm using it for this demo because I have it set up right now because I'm finishing up some of the lead parts for my upcoming album, and it just sounds great, so I want you to hear that too. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and plug this in and listen to how this guitar sounds. Okay guys, so let's go over the specs of this guitar, and then I want to talk a little bit more about the speed thing. So this is, just a really cool guitar. Obviously, it's a semi-hollow body. This is kind of what people think of when they think of maybe like a Gibson 339, where it's the, not the exact design, but just having a smaller semi-hollow body guitar, like a 335 would be the real big one. And I like this. To me, it's a lot more comfortable, but it still gives you some of that semi-hollow body, slightly acoustic tone, right? Now, the body itself is mahogany. It's a mahogany neck. It's a set neck. We got some cool stuff, the ebony fretboard, like I mentioned earlier, Grover tuners. These pickups are the AIO proprietary pickups. Also, thanks in part to the semi-hollow body design of this guitar. It's pretty lightweight. This guitar actually weighs less than 7 pounds. I weighed this one, it was 6.8 pounds. So really nice, comfortable weight guitar. Whether you're sitting down, it balances nice, or standing up, it balances nice. And you're not going to get any real bad neck dive or anything like that. And I suppose I should mention how much this guitar costs. It's not like cars where the faster you go, the more you have to pay. But this guitar plays really, really fast and costs less than $500, which is typical for these AIO guitars. $500 is kind of the magic number for guitars these days, in my opinion, because for that price range, if you shop carefully, you can get an absolutely fantastic guitar that, 20, 25, 30 years ago would compare to like a $2,000 guitar back in the day. That's really just because guitar manufacturing has come so far in the past 10 years or so. Okay, now the other thing which can affect how fast you can play on a guitar is actually the gauge of strings. And what it has to do with is the attack of the notes, and how quickly the string responds to your pick has to do with the gauge of strings. And in this case, a heavier gauge of strings is going to have a faster attack because the heavier gauge has more string tension on it. So you could argue that for picking, like fast alternate picking, you could argue that heavier gauge strings would actually be better. Okay, this guitar to me just really kind of dispels that old myth about you have to have a guitar that's, fits a particular genre or something like that. Like, not so much anymore, but back in the day, I used to always get these questions in the comments section like, hey, can I use this guitar to play Metallica? Or can I use this guitar to play the Beatles? Or can I use this guitar to play Stevie Ray Vaughan? Or something like that, right? And the guitar that they would be asking that about would be like, some fairly generic guitar, like a Les Paul copy with humbuckers or whatever. And it's like, man, a guitar like that, you can play any style on that. Don't let the looks of a guitar or the association you have with the looks of the guitar fool you into thinking that you can't use that guitar for the style of music that you want to play. And yeah, this guitar, at first glance, it's like you could imagine somebody in a jazz band in the 1950s playing this guitar, and then you're thinking like, oh man, I can't play modern metal with that guitar, right? Because that's not how I think about the guitar. I can't shred on that thing. But no, you absolutely can. And this guitar really, really shocked me. It really blew me away at just how easy it is to play this guitar and how fast you can play on this guitar. It's really impressive. Okay, guys. But let me know your thoughts about all of this stuff down in the comments section below. I've got a feeling the comments section on this video is going to be rather spirited, perhaps a bit more than usual. So guys, I look forward to continuing the conversation with you down in the comments section below. And guys, as always, everything I was talking about in the video, I'm going to have links for in the video description. I'll put a link for this guitar, the Rev G20 amp, and my social media instructional videos, I should say, all that stuff down in the video description below. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you very soon.